ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। 29 यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगाः
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगाः
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः
लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात्
तथैव नाशाय
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः
तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः
तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः
लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात्
लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात्
लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः
लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः
तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम्
तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम्
भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो
भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो
आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः
आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः
नमोऽस्तु ते देव वरप्रसीद
नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद
विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम्
विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम्
न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्
न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योद्धाः
येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः
तस्मात् तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व
तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व
जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम्
जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम्
मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव
मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव
निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्
निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्
So we have been exploring this important topic of free will and fate. Fate means karma in our language, karma. Karma and free will. Free will means purushartham. Free will is what? Purushartham. Purushaihi arthyate iti. Purushartha. So the person takes the initiative to seek, and therefore that is called purusha. Sometimes used free will is referred to by the word purusha. And so we are at this statement, nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Be an instrument alone. Matram. The word matram also is said. Be an instrument alone. And then earlier also he said, Ritepi tvam na bhavisyanti sarve. Even if you run away from here, still whatever is going to happen is going to happen. So it seems to indicate that you don't have, your role is not big. Like that it seems to say. But your role is also important. Uttishtata and all has been said before. Here also tasmad uttishta. And then nimitta matram bhava. Bhava means to be. Be an instrument in my hands, within brackets. Yeah. Because I've done everything. I've done the job for you. All you have to do is act it out. That is what we are exploring. So, in the last class, we saw some of the advantages. The main advantage of this idea of fatalism. Fatalism means only fate governs my life. There's no such thing as free will. That is the idea. That is fatalism, we can say. And we saw last time, it's very obvious that the advantage of this kind of a view, I don't know if you want to call it advantage for the people who present that as the message in the Bhagavad Gita is that this accountability and responsibility are not there at all. Whatever happens is happening by his will, and that gives me an excuse to do whatever I want to do. That is the problem. And at least if I do whatever I do and then say everything is happening by his will, that's okay. That's a nice attitude to have. And I still do what I have to do. I make an intense effort, hard work, and despite all the inconveniences, I do whatever I can and then leave everything to Bhagavan. That is good. That is good. And there is both free will and karma phala data is involved. And so that karma is there very much. But here it's not like that. Here, nimitta matram bhava is what we are looking at. So that no responsibility, I am not accountable for anything idea comes. And that seems to be convenient for those who that can become a consequence of those who propose fatalism. Okay? And so we are now going to look at what are the problems when we say there is no free will, there is only fate, there's only karma. What are the problems? Okay? Now, human beings have no free will. Things are happening. God is the one that is making things happen. Therefore, God is a karta. Obviously, without being a karta, you can't do stuff. And he's the one who's doing all of this. And so, a karta, the minute kartritvam comes, what should come along with it? Bhoktritvam has to come. Karta will get what is called karma phalam. Drishta phalam is there, of course, visible to us. Adrishta phalam will also be there. And guess who is going to get the adrishta phalam? Since I am not a karta, I won't get any punyam and papam. But then punyam and papam is going to accrue to Bhagavan's account. And not ordinary punyam and papam. It's massive work is going on in this universe. And Bhagavan is going to have so much punyam and papam. He can be rightly called a Mahasamsari. Mahasamsari. The only samsari, Mahasamsari, both. So he will be a Mahasamsari. And therefore, and poor Bhagavan. Bhagavan has been made into a poor samsari. And I am not a samsari. And therefore, this absurd conclusion will come. If we begin to think, see, absurd conclusions only if we think. If you don't think at all, then everything is fine. Life is good. Life is good. Only when you start thinking, you begin to wonder all this. And so, this is the first problem. Second problem. Second problem is because the human being has no free will, no punya papa accrued to the jiva. Okay? No karma phalam at all. And therefore, jivan muktaha. Therefore, this jiva is a muktaha. Is a muktaha. Muktaha means what? One who has nothing in his account. And despite doing stuff, nothing accrues to one's account. And akartritva buddhi is there. That's what we've been talking about. And here it's even better. This is not a question of I took myself to a karta and then my goodness, Atma is not a karta and all this we have been learning. But this is even easier. You are not a karta, period. You're like an animal. Animal has no kartritva. And so that kind of idea is being said here. Why? Because nimitta matram bhava. Nimitta means instrument. Be an instrument. Oh, nice. Who cut all these vegetables already? Thank you. Who did it? Knife did it. Knife did it. Right? Because knife is an instrument. Knife only did it. Nobody else can cut tomatoes so nicely. Try cutting with your hands. Even the karate master cannot cut with their hand. Knife, tomato, that example you have to give. Some other vegetables, maybe you can break into pieces, but tomato. So who cut means what? Knife cut it, you can't say, yeah, knife is used to cut the tomato. And so karta is you. And instrument never has karta. Now, and who drove the car? Who went from here to downtown? Who went means what? Car only went, obviously. I sat in the car. But then you have to say, I went. So everybody says, I went. Car cannot do anything by itself. Car has no kartrutva. Therefore, this nimitta matram bhava. Nimittam, instrument. You be an instrument. Means what? You don't have any karta. You don't have any say at all. You can't call yourself a karta. Just like all the examples we've looked at. And therefore, jivaha is a punya papa rahita purushaha. Punya papa rahita. Punyam and papa will come only when actions are done. Something has to be done. Benevolent actions or cruel actions, dharmic actions, all that will be there. Then Punya Papa comes. But now this guy is now free from Punyam and Papa. Okay? And therefore, all these Bhagavad Gita classes, who should attend? Upperwala, correct. Upperwala has to attend. The Bhagavan has to attend all these classes. Not only he gave us Bhagavad Gita, he has to study the Bhagavad Gita. We can simply sit and watch. Like, the dog is there, sitting and watching like this. What is Yajamana doing? Irritating. So the dog is simply sitting and wagging the tail. So we also will sit and wag our tail when Bhagavan is attending on this class. Okay? That is Bhagavan's job. Okay. Next, fallacy number 2 is over. Next, fallacy number 3. Fallacy number. Karma, Punya Papam is not there for the Jiva. Then how did I get born in the first place? We say this one Janma is because of Punya Papam only. Therefore, I should not have been born to begin with. And therefore, that's a fallacy. That's a dosha also. And if we study a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, then we say, then we can talk about, but I'm born. I know that I'm born. Therefore, who is born without Punyam and Papam? Who is born without Avataraha. Therefore, we are all what? We are all avatars. Don't think Krishna is an avatar. All of us are avatars. We are all avatara Purusha. Sometimes they say, somebody is so crazy that you can't understand this man. He just talks whatever he wants and does whatever he wants. And they say, he's some avatara. You just let go. He can't avatar. So we're all avatara. Not just Krishna. Sajo pisanna vyayatma tanam ishvaro pisan prakriti swamadhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Same thing. It applies directly to us who don't have any free will. So these corollaries will come. So that comes under the category of I should not have ever been born. That will be one fallacy. Okay. Then another fallacy will be people are suffering in this world, and suffering is happening constantly. You want to see suffering, all we have to do is go to a hospital. Different grades of suffering. From seeing a doctor for a problem to more serious problems to emergency cases. So many problems, sir. And God seems to be targeting some people for suffering. Okay. And because I'm not a karta, I don't create all these problems. God creates all these problems. Therefore, and that problem will come. And Puja Swamiji will say, famous, he says it, he said it in public talks also. Ask anybody, go to the emergency room and emergency ward of this hospital and ask anybody. You're coming with these people are doing a survey, survey. Some students are there from the college. They're doing a survey. They've come, 2 people are there. One is holding a pad and writing, another is asking questions. And we're doing a survey, ma'am. And can I ask you a couple of questions? Yes. First question. How easy or difficult was it to get an appointment in this emergency, ward, right? What? No, you must have planned to come to emergency. When did you plan to come to this emergency room or emergency ward, whatever? Not a single person planned to come to the emergency ward. Seeing the doctor, we may have planned to come. Seeing the dentist, seeing the eye doctor, and all, we plan to come. I need to go next week, etc. Book an appointment. But nobody books an appointment. Not a single person sitting there and their relatives are there, and their people are there in the emergency room. Not a single person planned to come there. And so that kind of life is there here. And God is clearly creating all these problems, creating tsunamis also. I thought we had only volcanoes, earthquakes, and landslides and mudslides and all that. And suddenly, tsunami, one word. In 2000, we started hearing a word called tsunami. Until then, it was only in Japanese word. Then it became a word in English also, tsunami. Then this COVID, like this. God seems to be having fun with all of us. Okay? Because nimitta matram bhava, And so all these environmental destruction, pollution of water pollution, air pollution, human rights abuses, so much is going on. God only is responsible for all of this. I am not responsible for the ozone depletion and the ozone hole and all that. God is doing all of this. God is doing. And what happened? Why is India like this? What happened? Why did the British looted India? Industrialization, British industrialization coincided with the colonization of India. So we have to put that in the history textbooks. No, you can't, because God did it. British nimitta matram only. Hey, no, Robert Clive said it. Robert Clive said, the country that colonizes India is going to be a power. It's going to be the most prosperous country. Robert Clive, look it up. He said all this. No, he said it, but he was just saying, he was made to say things. God made him say things. So, therefore, nobody can be assigned any blame except God. Except God. Hey, Jallianwala Bagh, all these things happened. This guy, Dyer and all that was there. What about all Dyer? Dyer also, nimitta matram. Nimitta matram. What about people who died? Don't ask all those questions. Nimitta matram. Okay. Therefore, God is a sadist or sadist. Sadist. So all this karuna and all that we talk about, he is not a karuna murti. There is no daya at all. He is a krura murti. He is a akaruna murti. Okay, that is who he is. And on top of that, we say he is Sarva Shaktiman and all. Sarva Vyapi, Sarva Shaktiman. And with all this power, he can do something to stop all this. Is he that helpless or what? And this Sarva Shaktiman and all doesn't make any sense at all to me. And so on top of that, Sarva Shaktiman, so it only makes us say that God is a sadist. He really enjoys doing what he's doing. He knows nobody wants to suffer, but yet he makes people suffer. So this is another consequence. And so cruelty with respect to people who suffer. Okay? And Veda Vyasa analyzes like this. In his Brahma Sutra, and Shakracharya analyzes it, Veda Vyasa himself uses the word called Naigrinya Dosha. Fallacy is called dosha. Dosha in Sanskrit. Fallacy. These are all the doshas we are talking about. And this dosha is called Naigrinya Dosha. Grinna. Grinna means compassion. Daya. Nirgrinna means lack of compassion. So God will be reduced. Bhagavan will be reduced to this Naigrinya Purushaha. Nirgrinna Purushaha. And therefore that dosha is called what? Naigrinya Doshaha. Like that Vyasa talks about. The unmerciful. Compassionless. Okay? Ruthless. Cruel. Shameless. You can now give whatever adjective you want to this kind of Bhagavan. Okay. Next fallacy. Okay, people suffering. What about then there are people who are enjoying also. If he makes everybody suffer, at least that much I can understand. But there are many people who are enjoying life. One fellow suffering and next door somebody else is enjoying. That means what? Enjoyment and suffering is not due to the karma of the individual. It has to be Bhagavan is doing it. And therefore, there is what? There is partiality. Partiality. Bhagavan is a partial guy. He is very, very partial. And even in joy also, there is no uniformity. Some people are enjoying very much. Some people are moderately enjoying. Some people are, they think they're enjoying, but they don't know. Like that, people are there. And therefore, Taratamyam is there. Taratamyam means this gradation is there. Spectrum. Suffering is one spectrum. Enjoyment is other spectrum. And so, this Vaishamya dosha. This fallacy is called what? Partiality fallacy. God is partial. That idea will quickly set in. And so in Tamil, there's a song, movie song. Silar Siripar, Silar Aluvar, Silar Aludu Konde Siripar. Some people smile, it seems. Silar Siripar. Then Silar Aluvar. Some people cry. And then there are some yet other people who Aludu Konde Siripar. They laugh, but while crying, they laugh. It seems like that. Three kinds of people he describes. So it is how it is. This Vishama, Vaishamya creates all those problems. And therefore, Vishama, I think Vishama is not a new word for me. Vaishamya dosha. Vishama cannot be a new word for me. Why did I say that? Kutasva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anaryajushtamasvargyam akirtikaram arjuna. Vishame samupasthitam. There, this is second chapter, second or third shloka. They said, Kutasva kashmalam, what is this? Arjuna, I thought, what happened to you? This is too. This is a joke. Even kids will not behave like Kashmalam idam vishame samupasthitam. Vishame, in this time of crisis, where there is, war is going to be there. This despair, where did you get? Kashmalam, despair. Like that, in the second chapter. That same Vishama. So one meaning of Vishama is crisis. Vishama has another meaning also. Okay, another meaning is what? This unevenness, roughness, up and down, partiality, behaving one way here and elsewhere behaving different. That is called Vishama. Asamanatvam is called Vishama. Asamana. So there is this what dosha? Vaishamya dosha. The dosha which has this Vishama is called Vaishamya dosha. All right. Then we have another dosha. All this talk about dharma, dharma, right, wrong, what is to be done, not to be done. So much is there. There is common sense dharma, right, wrong. I should not lie to you. You should not, and I should not deceive you, because I also don't want you to deceive me. I don't want you to lie to me. Very simple, common sense it is. At least that must be the reason to follow dharma. And this idea of dharma is there. Animals don't have this kind of dharma. And this one, plants also don't. But human beings have this dharma. And on top of that, so common sense dharma is there. Then on top of that, religious ethics, religious dharma is there. Means once you bring religion dharma into picture, then Vaidika dharma is another very nuanced it is, elaborate it is, what is to be done at what time. So from basic karma onwards, daily anushtanam is there, puja prarthana is there, sandhya vandanadi is there. Then karyas are there, nitya karma is there, naimittika karma is there. what you're supposed to do on Ekadasi, what you're supposed to do on Amavasya, all these things are there. Very important in our culture, very important. So many dharmas are. I don't have any kartrutvam, nimitta matram bhava. Then who is all this dharma shastram for? This whole world of righteousness, ethics and morality. Animals don't need any morality. Nobody is lecturing animals on morality, ethics. No, you should not do this, should not do that. Even though this guy, this owner is sitting and meditating, it seems. And he has some dogs. And one of the dogs came inside while he's meditating and barked. And he looks at him and said, don't you know you shouldn't bark when I'm meditating? Poor dog, he's still wagging the tail. No guilt, nothing. Sorry, I'm sorry, sir. I barked when you're meditating. No guilt, no hurt, nothing. Simply do like this and wag the tail. No, get out of here. Maybe the dog will move out because that tone, it is not because it has kartrutvam. You know why? Instinctual. When he speaks like this, he means he's upset with me and he doesn't like what I'm doing and I must go. He said, go. It goes. That's all. And that is also instinctual. So, right, wrong, the animals don't have. What about me? Well, I am also a nimitta matram. Therefore, right, wrong does not apply to me, the jiva. Correct? Does not apply to me, cannot apply to me. Just like you're visiting a city, you're visiting Coimbatore, you wanted to see people, places, and you come here for 3, 4, 5 days, 3 days, and you've rented a car so that you can go wherever you want at any time. And the driver is listening to you. Where do you want to go next? Where do you want to go next? Okay, good. We're going to be here for 1 hour. And then after that, we're going to go to downtown and do some shopping. Okay, shopping. So take us to this Gandhipuram. He will go straight to Gandhipuram. Then from there, where are you going? We heard of an ashram called Arshavidya Gurukulam. It's in Anekatti. Yes, I know where it is. Go to Anekatti. So all these things, Karta only is deciding. Driver, the person who is driving your car is not deciding all these things. Who will have conflicts? Driver is never going to have a conflict because he's simply following orders. People who follow orders don't generally have conflicts. Only if there is some independent thinking involved. Only when there is choice involved. Driver can say, I should have taken that road instead of this road. There's a lot of construction here. I should have thought about it before I came here. That was a little conflict, might be. But that's just different conflict. But this guy who's visiting Coimbatore will say, oh, I wish we had gone to Isha Yoga before going here. I wish we had gone to Marudamalai temple. Now we don't have time. I wish I had booked the ticket a couple of days later. All these conflicts will come. I wish we could have met all the Coimbatore parties. I didn't plan for that. All these kind of questions can come. Sundari ji is there. Rukmini ji is there. So many people are there. I should have kept that as a focus. Instead, I thought I'll come and see all these places, etc. All these conflicts are there only for that person, karta alone, not for the one who is a nittamatram. Okay. Therefore, this God has to deal with dharma. Who should study Dharma Shastram? Bhagavan has to study Dharma Shastram. Dharma Shastram is meant for God, not for me. And so it is called what? Dharma Shastra Vayarthyam. Means what? Vyartham. Vyartham. This Dharma Shastra is waste, vain, Vyartham. It's all useless. All these books and all are useless. Rules are useless. Because I'm not a Karta, I don't need rules. Okay? God alone needs rules. Therefore, the Dharma Shastra Vyarthyam will be one of the consequences of this idea that I am not a Karta, I am a Nimitta Matram. Okay? And
Guruji, kindly repeat that. Dharma Shastra.
Vaiyarthyam. V-A or V-A-I-Y-Y-A. Vaiyarthyam. Y-Y-A-R-T-H-Y-A-M. Vaiyarthyam. The Vyartha comes from the root Vyartha. Just like Kaunteya comes from the root Kunti, like that Vyartha is there, it becomes Vaiyarthyam. So, which means futility. Vaiyarthyam means futility of all this ethics and morality and all this talk. Is that whole area of morality and dharma does not exist. That is the meaning of Dharma Shastra Vaiyarthyam. Okay, then. And then this is another, like a corollary you have. And because the jiva has no kartritva, jiva is going to have no conflict. Without kartritvam and choice, there is no conflict. There is absolutely no conflict. Only choice brings in the need to make decisions this way or that way. Road is forking, you have to decide this way or that way. Food is served, you go to a restaurant, you have to decide this or that. In fact, our free will, you know what? The best way to, if you have any doubt whether you have free will or not, all you have to do is next time we go to a restaurant with your family and friends. But more the merrier. Just go with 10 people. And then the waitress will come. Okay, the server comes and asks, what do you want? And what do you want? That is when, especially family. Family generally, see, family, what happens? The individuals, we don't order. Everybody decides. Everybody should decide what the other person should order, right? That is how it should be. For some time, this discussion goes on and on. No, this we had. No, that we had. That was not good that day. No, Amma, we have not had this. And so it goes on and on for a while. That's when the free will is active. Everybody's free will is active. Young baby, okay, big, old, everything doesn't matter. The food is, everybody is an expert when it comes to food. Ask me what food you should take. Everybody says that. So that conflict will be there. Come on, guys, we have to stop. She's been standing for the last 10 minutes. She's watching the show. What is it? We have not decided yet. Then finally, the mood becomes a little sad also after some time. We go to have fun and then we become sad. So, and then something happens. Then, okay, somebody does something and then finally. So, therefore, conflict will be there. Conflict will be there. Now you will say, the day starts with the conflict. The day starts with the conflict. Alarm will ring. And then you have to decide. What do you have to decide? Should I snooze for 9 minutes or should I wake up? First decision. You have to make the decision. There's no choice at all. Nobody else is going to make that decision for you. Bhagavad Gita class. Did I attend? I've been attending all classes. Been following. What is going to happen in the next class? What is the big thing, big deal? What will happen if I don't attend the next class? Bhagavad Gita. Will I lose anything? Nothing. I won't lose anything. So, okay, a few jokes I might miss next class. But it's going to come again, the class afterwards. And therefore, I can decide. Then afterwards, no, who can I miss Bhagavad Gita class? This is the whole thing. I registered for this course and I wanted it. It's useful for me. I'm now a different person because of these classes. No, I must attend. Then snooze for, okay, but 9 minutes I can snooze. Okay, snooze. So within that 9 minutes, you know how much the mind is working, how hard? You have not even woken up, but still the mind is working hard. Conflict, constant conflict until you get up. And then afterwards, should I have tea or to have coffee? Then you look at the clock. Then Gita class is starting in about 15 minutes. Is there enough time to make coffee and have coffee and all? So all these questions will come. Anyway, I think you got the idea. So conflict will be. Person with free will and choice has to have conflict. Why? Because there is an idea of right and wrong. Right and wrong idea is not there, you won't have any conflict. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. Comes from here on. Ignorance means what? I don't know what's what, nothing I know. Therefore, just just like that you live. And how Swami will say, even the Indian cow, when it goes to America, will not have the conflict. Should I eat grass or should I eat something else? Should I become a non-vegetarian or should I continue to be a vegetarian? The Indians have that thing. Whether they have conflict or not, I don't know. But many vegetarians become non-vegetarians. And egg is okay, I think. Chicken is okay. You go to the restaurants there, they ask you, I'm a vegetarian. If you say, they'll bring you chicken. Oh, chicken also you don't take. So that consciousness, you can see, that awareness is just not there. So amazing it is. When you really experience it. Amazing. That the idea that an animal is getting killed I think it takes yugas for that consciousness to evolve. What I feel. Or it takes in a short span of time, you can just suppress that consciousness. Keep on doing something, and then that awareness just gets suppressed. Anyway, so these conflicts will not be there. For a person who is simply wagging the tail, all the person knows is to wag the tail. Even wagging the tail, there's no choice. Okay? No conflict will be there. And so, so we know all that. Ahara, Nidya, Bhaya, Maitunancha, etc. We know. Samanyamesh, that Pashubir Narana, animals and human beings, these are all common. All this ahara, desire, need to fill up the stomach periodically. Nidra, sleep, bhaya, fear, maitunam, procreation, all these are common. Nothing, you can't put all these things in your resume. And then dharmo hi tesham, or buddhir hi tesham. So this buddhi is the greatest differentiator. Okay. And so, that being said, where is the question of saying that there is no kartritvam? You can't say that. Therefore, we are getting into another fallacy here. And Shastram also says, Jantunam narajanma durlabham. Jantunam narajanma durlabham. He says, hey, among beings, being born as a human being is a very rare occurrence. You might say overpopulation and all that, but still, Janma is durlabham. We have to respect that. We have to honor that. We have to acknowledge that. Like that, Shastram says, Shankara says in Viveka Chudam, Durlabham, again he says, Durlabham Trayame Vaitati. Very interesting. Shankaracharya uses Durlabham many times, 2 times, even 3 times, I think he uses. Durlabham Trayame Vaitati Deva Nugraha Hetukam Manushyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. You must have heard. Shankara again says, Durlabham Trayame Vaitati. These 3 are very difficult to accomplish for any person, for any jiva actually. What is the first thing? Manushyatvam. To get a Manusya Jarma is Durlabham, very difficult. That is the first one, Durlabham, Trayame Vaitat. Trayam means 3. These 3 alone are most difficult to get. And these are Devanugraha Hetukam, he says. These 3 are, that I'm going to tell you, are Devanugraham. They are due to the Anugraham of Vishwara, Bhagavans. And what are those 3? Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, having born as a human being, then to ask the question, what is moksha? And then go seek that moksha is also rare. Then another thing is also rare. Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. Being in the association of great people, of Mahatmas, that is another rare thing after being born as a human being. Like that he says. So these things are being said in the Shastram, but all of that flies in the face of this idea that I am a nimitta matram. I am not a karta at all. And so we end up with what is called absence of conflict. When we know we have conflicts very much, there is absence of vikalpa. Vikalpa abhavaha. Moha abhavaha. There can't be any confusion at all. Confusion is there only when there's right and wrong. Correct? Is that a right statement? Confusion can be there only when there are options available and you don't know how to choose. You have choice, but you don't know what choice to make. You have choice and don't know what choice to make. Animals are not confused. They will just eat based on instincts, consume, do whatever based on instincts. No confusion will be. But given stuff to the individual, and so many things are there on the table, and then he has to choose buffet. The buffet. That's why buffet is another thing which creates conflict because too much choice there. And from this end of the table to that end of the table, there is so much food and different varieties also. And you have to quickly decide because you can't sit and eat for 3 hours, You have to, there's a finite amount of time you have to finish eating. And so confusion. Do I have all this? Fried items are all there. Then some sabjis here, salads and some other things. The uncooked food is all there. And then dahi and all those things are there. So you have to decide. So conflict. So, but here what? Moha abhavaha, vikalpa abhavaha. Freedom from conflict will be the consequence of saying, I have no freedom. So many things are there here. And these will be the problems. Saying nimitta matram abha. Then, so that's the complete thing here. And so we have to understand this statement properly. Nimitta matram bhava means follow dharma. Follow dharma. You see, very interesting it is. The free will, when is it really working for me? You ask. Okay. You say we have choice. See, suppose somebody likes a particular sweet. Let's say Mysore Pak. Somebody likes Mysore Pak so much. And then you give him 5 varieties of sweets. You give him Mysore Pak. You put some chocolates there. Something else, some other sweet like this son papadi and all this other peda and all that you put there. What do you think the person is going to eat? He's immediately going to go to the Mysore Pak only. Now tell me, is it choice that is driving him to take Mysore Pak? Or is it Raga Dvesha that is making him take Mysore Pak? Because choice and Raga Dvesha are different from each other. Okay. Choice can go along with Raga Dvesha, or it can be subdued, and Raga Dvesha can overpower dharma. Okay, choice. So in this case, we say human beings have choice, but what choice this man has? This man has no choice, helpless. Even though the doctor has told him so many times, you got to cut down sugar. And this Mysore Pak, I don't think it is some kind of, what do you call it? They call it, they make some nice Mysore Pak. It's called Karupatti Jaggery, Karupatti Vellam Mysore Pak. Means they make it with jaggery. At least jaggery made Mysore Pak, little bit you can say, okay, better than the sugar. But this is 100% sugar, Mysore Pak. And so, what choice he has? He had the chance to make a choice, but he gave up the choice. Correct? Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthitau tayor na vashamagachet. That one sentence, that one shloka is enough for our life, I think. Lead a proper life. That itself is enough. And so therefore, free will is not being expressed when I am a victim of raga and dvesha. I am under the spell of my own raga and dvesha. It looks as though I'm choosing to have that Mysore Pak, but it's just only looking. That's all. Really speaking, I have no choice. I've surrendered my choice to that Mysore Pak. Okay. So when is choice really working, if you ask? When I follow dharma. Because now I have a choice whether to do it this way that I'm supposed to do or to do it some other. That is when choice is really being used. The choice that I have, the free will that I have is really being used. In fact, the Shastram is going to say in Kathopanishad, we are studying that. Kathopanishad will say, you have to use the choice to do what? To ask that fundamental question. Oyam Atma. What is this Atma? Who am I? Question will come. You have to use your free will to ask. That is when the free will is really needed. Really needed. And so, Nimitta Matram Bhava. What? We can interpret. We are now interpreting. Bhagavan doesn't say all these things. So many things he has said, but how you are supposed to understand this, we are interpreting based on everything we know about the Shastra. Everything we know about life, we are interpreting. And Shankaracharya also says that you following dharma is where my choice really plays a role. Animals don't have a choice, so they don't have dharma at all. They can't tell the dog. And so that is what we want to understand from this. And we'll continue this discussion. Nimitta Mantram Bhava. And that's the whole idea of this one. Literal translation is be an instrument in my hands. But be an instrument means follow dharma. Follow dharma. Dharma is Ishvara. Dharma is Ishvara. Therefore, you can't ignore dharma. This is the meaning. What has been given to the human being because only the human being needs the dharma. Therefore, follow the dharma. Follow the dharma means free will has to be used. Follow dharma, we can't say, oh, somebody is asking me to follow dharma. What free will do I have? You can't say that. You can't say that. You have a lot of free will. That's why you are being to follow dharma. I can go this way, that way. I can hurt, I cannot hurt. Two ways of doing things. To pay attention. Ahimsa paramo dharma. You have to do what is the right thing. And here also, himsa and all will come. All the discussion is there in Mahabharata. So, Nitta Matram Bhava Sadhya Sachin. Okay? And the word Bhava itself implies Arjuna has free will. Only then Krishna can say, Bhava, be, do. Nitta Matram Bhava, be only a Nimittam. Tasmad Uttishta, therefore get up. How can these advices be followed by a person who does not have free will, does not have choice? Okay. So let's translate this shloka. Tasmad Uttishta Yasho Labhasva Jitva Shatrun Bhunksva Rajyam Samritam Mayaivaite Nihata Purvameva Nivitta Matram Bhava Tavyasachin. 33rd shloka. Therefore, get up and attain fame. Therefore, get up and attain fame. Just a minute. Yeah. Therefore, get up and attain fame. Conquering the enemies, comma, enjoy the prosperous kingdom. Full stop. Conquering the enemies, comma, enjoy the prosperous kingdom. Indeed, they have been already killed by me. Full stop. Indeed, they have been already killed by me. Be a mere instrument. Be a mere instrument. O ambidextrous bowman. O ambidextrous bowman. Within brackets, Arjuna. Be a mere instrument. O ambidextrous bowman. Therefore, get up and attain fame. Full stop. Conquering the enemies, enjoy the prosperous kingdom. Full stop. Indeed, they have been already killed by me. Full stop. be a mere instrument of the ambidextrous vowel. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.